Oh, you guys, welcome. Welcome to the intro for breathwork. I'm Tracy from Dream Awake Healing, and I'm so excited that you came today. I am going to talk a little bit about forgiveness. It's the F word that's healing. So many benefits to forgiveness. Forgiveness helps you lower your cortisol levels and it calms your nervous system, right? We all are hearing a lot about nervous system regulation these days. And forgiveness, believe it or not, is one of those things that helps with that. And I think some of these benefits go hand in hand with breath work because I started reading this thing that I looked up and I was like, that's breath work. That's breath work. Improves mental focus, mental health, letting go of grudges. You feel better, more peaceful, and happier. It can boost your self esteem. When you forgive others, you take back control of your emotions and empower yourself, right? Um, but know this forgiveness is really only for us. Physical benefits are lowering your blood pressure, strengthening your immune system. You get better sleep, and chronic pain kind of loosens its hold and can lessen. There's so much tension that we hold on when we are not forgiving. And it's not always in the forefront of our mind either, right? It fosters empathy and compassion. And it also gives you that sense of freedom that comes from letting go of carrying a heavy burden. It releases you from a prison of our own making of resentment, right? We all know what resentment does. Now, I study A Course in Miracles, and today's lesson of all days is lesson 267. And the lesson is my heart is beating in the peace of God. And I'm just going to read a couple lines. Surrounding me is all the life that God created in his love. It calls to me in every heartbeat and in every breath, in every action and in every thought. Peace fills my heart and floods my body with the purpose of forgiveness. Purpose of forgiveness. I feel like that's kind of one of the things we're supposed to do while we're here. And according to A Course in Miracles, forgiveness recognizes that what you thought your brother did to you has not occurred. It doesn't pardon sins and make them real. It sees there was no sin. Forgiveness is still and quietly does nothing. It merely looks and waits and judges not. Another thing that I know is getting more popular is Ho'oponopono. Have you guys ever heard of that? Ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian healing practice for reconciliation and forgiveness. It has a long form that's very beautiful, and it starts like this: Divine Creator, Father, Mother, Child as one. If I, my family, relatives, and ancestors have offended you, your family, relatives, and ancestors, in thoughts, words, deeds, and action, from the beginning of our creation to the present, we ask your forgiveness. Ah, I think that's so beautiful. There's a writing process after it, and it's very powerful, but you really need to be led through the prayer by someone that's been trained to facilitate it. So in 1976, the kahuna of the time, a kahuna is like the priest, like the highest spiritual being of the country, right? The kahuna at the time, Morna Simeona, she distilled it down to four distinct statements. And this is what most people know of today as Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you can do that on a loop. And you can, if you have something going on, you will feel the energy shift because there is that belief in connection where we're all connected, right? And if we act like we're all one, then everything outside of us is just a projection of what's inside of us. Anyway, So moving on, I was just curious, what other, like, are there other religions that talk about forgiveness? And the Buddhists talk about it. They view forgiveness as an internal process of letting go of anger and resentment for one's own well-being and peace of mind, rather than excusing or condoning the behavior, right? They they forgive it, right? It involves developing deep compassion, but not just for the other person, for yourself also, right? And you recognize your shared humanity, which again ties in with the oneness. Then, of course, we have the 12-step recovery program. You really need to look at this aspect, right? Steps 8 and 9 focus on making amends and asking for forgiveness, right? Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. And step 9 made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. These are necessary parts of the process of getting sober or leading to abstinence or any kind of healing from addiction. It leads to more inner peace and happiness too. So the other thing that happens to me, there's this book that I read called Disappearance of the Universe and Immortal Reality, two different books by Gary Renard. They're basically about A Course in Miracles. And he has a couple of statements that I use, like, if somebody cuts me off in traffic or something else happens, or I I have these reactionary moments too, where I fly off the handle and I'm like, ah. And then what's interesting though is I feel that energy come right back at me immediately. So I say this. I say to the person, you are spirit, whole and innocent. All is forgiven and released. And then I say it to myself, I am spirit, whole and innocent. All is forgiven and released. And then there's a statement that he wrote that you just say for yourself, I am immortal spirit. This body is just an image. It has nothing to do with what I am. These are powerful statements, you guys, right? I mean, and they can kind of diffuse the energy in the moment. That's the really reason, that's the real power of them for me. So, what I want to ask you is, who do you need to forgive right now? Yourself, your partner, God, your mother, your father? When I work with people, I ask them to go through these most important relationships and ask them where they are on a scale of 1 to 10 with forgiveness. It's an amazing barometer of where you are in the moment. And now you have a picture of where to start. So, this for me is a major part of the mindset coaching that I do when people come to me for individual sessions. Forgiveness sets the tone, and I think it's the foundation of the work we do together. So, who would you like to start with to forgive? Don't wait any longer. Let the forgiveness begin. Mm. Thanks for listening, you guys. I really appreciate that.